We all want to be loved. We all want to be light. We all want to be whole. But sometimes we don't realize that becoming whole means we need to face the dark sides of ourselves. So we keep hiding those parts of us that we don't like and we don't want, not realizing that life will eventually bring them to light. There is no escape. And I don't know, as humans, when we became so skillful in hiding those parts of us that we have become kind of blind to them. Many people really believe that they don't have those dark sides. It's so deep buried in their subconscious that they don't realize that they have them. They don't understand that you can't have light without shadow. So they keep hiding those parts, and life keep pushing those parts to the surface for them to see them and release them. The problem is we are terrified to see those parts of us. We don't want to look at them. We think that we can't bear the shame that comes with those parts, because those traits are usually the traits that have been condemned by many religious or many communities throughout human history. And especially these days, with almost everyone having access to social media, we repress those parts of us even more, because there are some people, that's not the case for everybody, of course. They are on social media and they only show those parts of themselves or those parts of their lives that is normally approved and admired by the society. We look at them and we think they have everything figured out, and then the question comes, why I haven't? And then I blame them on those parts of me that I consider dark. So I try to hide them even more. I try to repress them even more. I remember in the first self-improvement training that I had, the teacher asked us to write down qualities that we dislike or hate in others the most. Some wrote a few, some wrote a little bit more, and then she asked us to read those lists out loud. Then she explained Carl Jung's shadow theory and said that the qualities that we dislike or hate in others actually reflect our own dark sides. When I learned about that, I really wished I could take back my list and never read it to anyone again. But then she explained that everybody has those dark sides, those dark tendencies, and there is no need to hide them. They might be a little bit different from each other, but eventually everybody has them. And actually, when we try so hard to hide them, they get stronger and bigger. We don't, of course, don't need to go around and talk about it with everybody, but it's really, really important to become aware of those tendencies. When we become aware of those tendencies, they kind of lose their grip on us, so we can get our power back. We become stronger, because when we have those qualities, those tendencies, and we are not aware of them, they create a lot of conflict within us. We have a tug of war within us, and that needs a lot of energy. Hiding those parts of us needs a lot of energy. Just think about when you have a secret and you want to hide it from others. You have to spend a lot of energy to hide that secret, and you also will have a lot of conflicts because of that secret. A very good example of these kind of tendencies or qualities is lying. Some people hate it when they see somebody else is lying. But if they become really, really honest with themselves, they see that they actually lie a lot themselves, at least to themselves. When we become aware, then we don't get triggered as much by seeing those qualities in others. And we just notice that somebody is lying, and that's it. So observing others and finding the qualities that we dislike or even hate in them is the best way to spot our own dark traits. When we see that manipulator, that binger, that saboteur, or other dark characters in others, and then we see that we have a strong emotional reaction to them, that's the best clue ever to our own dark side. Sometimes we get to a point in life that we think that we have had enough of that trait or that quality. But even then, it's still hard to admit to ourselves that we have those qualities, because these are the traits or qualities that have never been acknowledged, and if they have, it has been with judgment and condemnation. Some of us might know that if we face our dark sides, we gain our power back, but we still have some sort of obstacle in our way, and that unseen obstacle is shame. Shame keeps us from seeing those dark sides of us. Psychotherapist Susan Henkel, who wrote the book What If There Is Nothing Wrong with You, shares a story of one of her clients who wanted to quit smoking. This client had tried every method, but nothing had worked. So Henkel asked this client to go home, keep smoking, but this time without guilt, and really enjoy smoking until their next session. And that's what the client did. She went home and kept smoking, but before their next session, one day she realizes that she doesn't want to smoke anymore. She doesn't have the tendency to smoke anymore. When the shame was lifted, the tendency to smoke was gone. So that shame is even stronger in communities that are under that invisible pressure of morals, or are kind of superficial spiritual communities. In those kind of communities, people really try hard to hide their darkness because they want to look flawless and angelic with no dark side at all. I remember a time when I was part of a spiritual community, and in that community, every time I shared something and I had a question, there was this awkward silence in the room. And I was confused for some time. I couldn't understand why they kind of dismissed me every time I shared something. Later, I realized that I was not supposed to share the dark sides, the struggles, the negative feelings, nothing at all. I was supposed to be all light and love all the time. Seeing our dark sides and accepting it is a lifelong journey, and it needs our patience. We need to be patient. It also needs grace, because it has its own timing. It happens in its own time, and we can't rush it. So sometimes in life we get to a point where we think that we can't accept any more dark sides. I sometimes get to that point, and then I realize that I can always ask the universe or God for help. I ask them to accept that quality, that darkness through me. At the end, I think a true spiritual person or an authentic person is not someone who doesn't have any dark side, any darkness within them. Is someone who sees their darkness, accept it, and they still choose to have it on control and stay as love and light. Until next time.